Hey, what is up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. Just Simply Sports here with me. I am Kaja, and if you are new here, I welcome you. Stop, hit the like and subscribe button. Do not walk away without hitting notifications so you don't miss any of this content. If you're new and you've been here already, I appreciate you. You guys, it is that time of year, NFL Combine time. It is time, almost time, to usher in a new NFL draft class to the next level of being at the top of the top, which is a professional NFL athlete. Now, you guys, I said to myself, the minute that Shedeur announced that he would not be participating in the NFL Combine, that his draft stock would drop, and there would be a lot of conversations surrounding Shedeur. Is he too good? Thinks he's too good. He's only in it because of who his dad is, and so on and so on and so forth. Look at this clip right here, you guys.
Hey, listen, the whole thing of the guy wanting to be some sort of rapper and to emulate his dad, who was some sort of rapper, that's someone who's not he's carried himself like he's John Elway. I got this whole quarterback thing licked. Let me focus on these other aspects. And it doesn't matter how physically talented you are. There'll never be anyone more physically talented than Cam Newton at the quarterback position or maybe any position in football. And because he wasn't serious about his craft and he wanted to be an icon and he didn't want to work on the details and the fundamentals, he underachieved as an NFL player. And I think that's a legitimate fear of Shedeur. Is just like, is he too full of himself? Can you have any part of Deion's personality and be a successful quarterback in the National Football League? I don't think so.
Can you have any part of Deion Sanders' personality and be a successful quarterback in the NFL? I think the answer is no. You know what? This to me is really, really annoying. I feel like no matter what Shedeur does or has done, there is always people looking to tear him down. And Jason Whitlock is just an example of how a lot of people feel. I read a lot of the comments. Shedeur is overhyped. He's only who he is because of who his dad is. Okay, so the stats speak for themselves in terms of what Shedeur has accomplished throughout his college career. But to specifically talk about whether or not he can be a successful quarterback based on or having any part of his dad's personality, what are we saying here? And just how retarded does that sound, okay? Deion Sanders is a Hall of Famer. He's a two-time NFL champion. Arguably the greatest cornerback to ever play the position, depending on who you ask, right? Because that's obviously a matter of opinion. On top of that, eight-time Pro Bowler. Let's not go back to his high school days, okay, when he was an all-state athlete in football, basketball, and baseball, okay? So there is so much that Deion Sanders has accomplished and continues to accomplish. Look at what Deion's accomplishing right now in terms of being a coach and for college football, right? Look at how they're recruiting coaches now. They're looking for the next Deion Sanders, right? They have Michael Vick coaching now, Deshaun Jackson, Eddie George was obviously already there, but we cannot undermine or keep continuing to undermine all that Deion has accomplished. And mind you, he's not someone that went to a top program to do these things. He didn't go into, a Penn State or, Georgia or Ohio State, kind of team where all the top draft picks are flocking to, where they get millions upon millions of dollars, to do, to recruit, and transfer portal and whatnot. A lot of his players have come for the transfer portal. Okay. So he goes to Jackson State, from Jackson State to Colorado, a program that was 1-11 when he got there. Obviously, the first season was trial and error. They started out hot, finished pretty much cold. And then this past season now, 9-3. Travis Hunter has spent so much time with Deion Sanders, Shedeur, Shiloh, that whole entire family, and he opted to not go to a five-star program, but to go the route with Deion Sanders, and go the HBCU route, whereas most athletes with Travis's level of talent would not have done. But look at where he is now. He's a Heisman winner. You know what I mean? So to be around Deion, for me and what I'm seeing, is to say that you will become a winner. And they are winners in different, ways already before they've even gotten to the NFL. When you look at Shedeur, for me, aside from his talent, we all know that he has flaws, right? I think he holds onto the ball too long, but he's not the only quarterback that has flaws. Name one quarterback in a draft, even in the NFL currently, who does not have a flaw or something that they need to work on, right? We obviously have the elites. We have the Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar, my favorites. You have Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl winner now. I mean, the list goes on, right? But they all have flaws. They all have strengths. There's no perfect quarterback, at least in my personal and humble opinion. So for us to talk about Shedeur and about, his limits and things like that, he's not the only one with them. And when I think about the NFL Combine specifically, to me, the Combine should no longer be for the top 10 potential draft picks or the ones who are top 10 on a mock draft. If you are being spoken about on ESPN, you're part of Mel Kiper's, top 10, fantasy draft pick and so on and so forth, that means that you have made a name for yourself in the world of college football. You have accomplished a lot of wins, you've broken records, thrown for a lot of yards, run for a lot of yards, Ashton Genty. So why am I coming to a combine to run for you and do skills and drills, so to speak, like you don't have, I don't know how many games of tape and footage, maybe saw me in person, live, in the middle of a game. Why am I coming there to do something like that, when you've already seen what I can do and what I'm not good at, what I am good at? Like, what my strengths, my weaknesses are. What your team needs at the quarterback position, if you're looking for a quarterback, and whether or not you think that I fit into your system, and your organization. I feel like top 10 athletes, in terms of the draft for the NFL, should really focus on their pro days. That's all. That's it. I feel like the NFL Combine should really and truly be for those who have a lower draft stock value. If you are going in the second round, third round, fourth, fifth, sixth, you know what I mean, and you want to come up, I feel like that's the time for you to show up and show people what you're capable of. Because obviously, you may not have been in the best, in the best situation, had the best team. You could be really talented, but you could be a part of a team that's not good as a whole, and that could be why you haven't really gotten as much attention as you deserved. But to me, that's for those who are, lower level, no disrespect intended, to come up. It's not for people who we already seen and talk about throughout the last, 2, 3, 4, some 5, years. To me, that doesn't make any sense at all. I think it's smarter for you to be in a controlled setting where you have control of your narrative, where you're there, with your wide receivers, doing it on your turf, your terms, because you know who I am. You know who Cam Ward is. You know who Ashton Genty is. He was what, neck and neck with Travis Hunter in terms of, being, a Heisman winner. I think he almost broke Barry Sanders' record. Travis Hunter, doing something we haven't seen, playing, offense and defense at such a high level every single game. I mean, really and truly, like, let's just stop the cap. But Shedeur specifically, I feel like what he has that other quarterbacks or players don't have coming into the NFL is having a father like Dion. And I don't mean in terms of, having all the, the popularity. I'm talking about what it means to be able to wear, the criticism that comes with being Deion Sanders' son. Now he's grown up in this, right? So he's new to it, so to speak, in terms of him now being at the forefront, but he's not new to it because he's been around it. He's grown up in it, right? So he's seen everything that his dad has gone through. And if he hasn't seen it, I'm sure his dad told him about it, his grandmother, his mom, friends, whatever, right? I mean, Tom Brady is his mentor. He's been working with Tom Brady for years, you guys. So come on, let's just stop the cap, okay? Now, there's always a lot that has been said about Dion and Shedeur, and to me, he has worn it with a badge of honor. Like, I think that to have so many people constantly talking about you all the time, some good, even more bad, and to be able to still come out and perform at the highest level at this point in time, he's not in the NFL yet, and to be able to do that week in and week out and face that criticism head on and still keep your head held high and to be able to still succeed and be successful, to me, is no small feat, because the way social media and media is in general, it really takes a strong individual to deal with all that backlash, that talk, that nonstop, you know what I mean, just nitpicking all the time about this, about that. And I feel like a lot of players cannot handle the pressure when the lights shine brightest, okay? Now, a lot is put into where you get drafted first, second, third, fourth, fifth, so on and so forth. But that does not mean that, let's say if Cam Ward, excuse me, I said Cam Ward, Cam Ward goes second, overall, the first, QB to be drafted, and Shedeur goes seventh, or he happens to go sixth. I don't think he's gonna go any less than the top five personally. But if he does, for some reason go a little bit later in the top 10, then it is what it is, right? All things happen for the for the greater good. I don't think that means that Shedeur is not who we think he is, or just as good as we think that he is. Look at Caleb Williams, right? There was so much hype surrounded by Caleb. And if you've been here on my channel, I said a long time ago, can we just relax and breathe? Okay. I get that he's talented, but college is college. NFL is NFL. You're playing with grown men who have mortgages, families, baby mamas, mortgages on their home and mama's home, and so on and so forth. And they know that they can be cut at any point in time. So they're not giving up their spot easily. You have to come in that locker room, earn their respect, and and really work hard, for what you want in the NFL. They're not going to just give it to you because Dion is your dad, so to speak. That is not going to happen at all. And I'm sure that Dion has told Shedeur that plenty of times. But Caleb Williams was hyped up so much. I saw people on television saying that he was going to lead the Bears to the playoffs his first season, as NFL as a rookie, quarterback. He was going to throw for 4,000 yards. They had him in the potential Hall of Fame conversation, all before he ever even touched the NFL field, before we even saw him throw in a game. And I'm like, you guys, we got to relax, like there was so many expectations put on him. And then he comes out and he's like, I told the punter, or the punter came out and said, he called me and told me that I'm not going to have to really punt at all this season, and that, look how that worked out. Right. So, but I feel like he came into it with confidence, as he should. You should come into it feeling like, you're the man. You have to believe that. Otherwise, to me, you can't be successful in any kind of professional athlete, actress, whatever it may be, rapper, singer. You have to believe that you're the guy, So I'm not mad at him for that. But I feel like all the expectations placed on him, because he was Patrick Mahomes-esque and all these different things, when it didn't manifest itself the way people expected it to. Everybody kept talking about, wow, look at Jada, the incredible rookie season that he had, right? Historic even, a lot of conversation was like, oh, like, what's going on with Caleb? What's the biggest disappointment with Caleb? All these different things. I'm sure that he heard that, he read it, he saw it. Like, you can see the team is disappointed when they're losing games. When you're the quarterback, it's supposed to be the quarterback. You know what I mean? It's a lot. It definitely is a lot. And I feel like all that outside noise and that pressure, aside from the awful coaching, Matt Eberflus should have gotten fired a long, long time ago. He should not have even been there when Caleb was drafted. There should have been a brand new coach. But nevertheless, I feel like that was part of the big reason, or part of the reason why, he had such a rough season. I say it to say we have to stop putting so much stock, into who goes first, second, and third, because that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be this awesome, Hall of Fame talent, right? Tom Brady was, what, sixth round? Okay, Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, Super Bowl, his first, 2-3 years as a quarterback. And he was freaking the third quarterback off the bench. He got in the game by accident when they kept losing quarterbacks. They kept getting hurt, but he came in and look at what he is now. Look at what he's doing, what he's accomplished, So I feel like to say that we got to sometimes just pump the brakes, in terms of, well, Shedeur has, this problem. He has that problem. Cam Ward is more physically imposing. He's bigger. And I get it, right? You want someone, arguably at the quarterback position, who's athletic, who looks strong, who can take being sacked, and things of that nature. But it doesn't mean because you are a physical specimen that you are going to be the end all be all. It does not mean that whatsoever. But Shedeur, I think, is going to be just fine. And I feel like we need to just stop with all the hating because of who his dad is, because that's really what it all boils down to. It's like we hate on Shedeur because his dad is Dion. Let's just stop with the Shedeur Sanders hate. We don't know what his career is going to pan out to be, but excuse me. But what I do know and what I'm confident in saying is that I think he will be fully prepared to weather the storm because of what he has gone through, because of what his dad has prepared him for. And I think he will ultimately be very successful, having Tom Brady, of course, in his corner. What do you guys think, though, about Shedeur and this whole performing the combine, not performing the combine? I look forward to reading your comments. And of course, I will see you in the next video.